I wanted to address the racism that Black people are receiving in Ukraine.
As thousands of people flee the violence in Ukraine, worrying accounts now of racial discrimination are being reported throughout the evacuation efforts. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is now confirming to us that there are cases of discrimination in admitting refugees.
I'm a brain surgeon resident.
I don't think I've ever met a brain surgeon properly before.
Victor first went to the Polish border with Ukraine to the west, but says he was told by a Ukrainian border guard that the policy was one foreigner allowed through for every 10 Ukrainians.
And when it was time to get on this bus, the Ukrainians said, just Ukrainians, literally as a Black person. I even lied that I was pregnant. They didn't care. I was begging. The official literally looked me in my eye and said in his language, only Ukrainians, that's all. That if you are Black, you should walk. And that was an additional 8 hours from where we were. By car, it was like 30 minutes. So we had to walk additional 8 hours. The problem isn't at the Polish border. It is at the Ukrainian border.
What I'm seeing online is so disheartening. It really is just the way that people are so ready to dehumanize Black people. It's beyond exhausting. I have no words. I really don't. Because I look at I've posted a few videos about some of the Black people that are being mistreated right now in Sumy State University in Ukraine. It's closer to the border of Russia. They're surrounded by this war. They're surrounded by the Russian military, and these students are stuck there. They can't leave. I'm trying to reach out to as many people as I can to figure out how we can help them out. If anybody knows people in the UN or wherever, please get in contact with them. Even the New York, all these publications have reported on this, but I think what's happening is one of those cases where it's like social loafing and where people just watch because everybody knows, so nobody's gonna do anything. But I think if anybody can contact somebody in the CIA, I think it's an NGO actually, an NGO that is experienced, or not even experienced, but an NGO that can get them out of there. That's the best course of action. They need two things. They need a ceasefire in the region so they can leave, and they also need buses because there are about 800 of them. And I spoke to two of them, and they said that there are about 300 to 500 Nigerians. So they're Nigerians and Indians, and these are students. So in the comment sections, some of the disturbing things that people have been asking, people are just so easily eager to dehumanize Black people. So I wanted to address some of these ridiculous statements that I'm reading, right? So people are asking, why are they there in the first place? If I'm Black, why would I go to Ukraine? And the question is, it's the same reason that people travel this world. Do you know how these kids are bringing at least 8,000 USD into Ukraine every year for their school fees? $8,000. They're helping the Ukrainian government by creating jobs for their teachers. They're helping the Ukrainian economy. So these are not people that are just these are not immigrants that are just moving in and taking from the country. They are creating jobs. They are paying school fees. These are medical students, some of them. These are engineers. These are students. And they're bringing money into Ukraine. So to say, why are they there? They're there to study. And they're bringing income into Ukraine and creating jobs for Ukrainians. That is what they're doing there. Another statement, their governments should help them. Basically, this is not our business. Their governments should help them, which is it is truthful, but at the end of the day, the Nigerian government, most of them are Nigerian, I can speak for Nigerian government, is incompetent. In fact, if the Nigerian government was competent, they would probably be in Nigeria studying. But unfortunately, this is what it is. Their governments are incompetent, and the governments, the consulate told them before that they should figure out. First of all, before this war even started, they weren't even responding. And by the time it was too late, they told them, figure out how you should get home. You're responsible for your own safety. Now, yes, I can understand that it's unfortunate that this is how their own people are treating them, the same way that Putin treats his own people, the Ukrainians, the same way.
Tens of millions of fellow citizens and countrymen found themselves beyond the fringes of Russian territory. Do you see how he frames this? The Soviet Union were all one people in his mind. And after it collapsed, all of these people who were a part of the motherland were now outside of the fringes or the boundaries of Russian territory.
But we still want to save the Ukrainians. But when it comes to these black people who are being mistreated by their own people, everybody is quick to say, oh, well, everyone is quick to dehumanize them. When you ask questions like, why didn't they leave already? These are teenagers, they're in their early 20s. Have you never made mistakes when you were a teenager? Have you never been reckless when you were a teenager? If we're even gonna call them that, because a lot of these students don't even have the money to leave. They would wait for the embassy to sort them out. But unfortunately, as I addressed, the Nigerian embassy didn't sort them out. So now they don't have the money, they don't have the resources to leave, a lot of them. So then what is the question? They should have sorted this out. At the very worst, they were being reckless, but I would not even say that, because these are students, these are teenagers, these are kids, teenagers between the ages of probably 16 to mid-20s. They're teenagers. They're in their early 20s, they're kids. They make mistakes. That's what you do at that age, you make mistakes. So for you to dehumanize them, but you sympathize if it was a white person that age, it's the same thing that happens in the US. They trial kids as adults because they feel as though black people should be able to deal with this. They dehumanize black people, but these are kids. So relax. Another ridiculous statement is that these are able-bodied men. They should work in the Ukrainian military. I mean, firstly, you've dehumanized them already. That you're saying that they've come to Ukraine to reap the benefits. No, they come to Ukraine to pay school fees and create jobs for Ukrainians. That's what they've come to do. That's number one. Then number two, this is not their country. As a student, how dare you ask an 18-year-old to 25-year-old to go and fight for a country that is not theirs? They're there to learn.
They even told us, like, we are going to give you guns and you're going to fight for Ukraine. I said, hi, we're going to fight for Ukraine? We are not Ukrainian. We are black. So how can we fight? How can we fight for Ukraine?
So all these ridiculous, racist statements that allow people to dehumanize black people, black kids, because of your internal racism and subconscious bias, stop it. And the part that really upsets me is that it's not only white people that are doing this. I see a lot of Nigerians in the comment section and black people in the comment section making these comments. The white supremacy is so deeply rooted in you that you're racist towards your own kind, that you discriminate, that you dehumanize your own people. It's so upsetting. And you know what? That's all I have to say about that, because I could go on about it. Anyway, so those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time.